Welcome to another episode of Awakening Women's Wisdom, the podcast where we have conversations with women of diverse backgrounds about how they weave conscious grace, which is kindness, compassion, and thoughtfulness, into their daily life, and some little tidbits of wisdom that they've learned along the way. I'm Rebecca.
Hi, and I'm Laurine. Welcome back to Awakening Women's Wisdom. Before we begin with Kalyn, Rebecca and I just want to acknowledge that we received a really lovely message as a comment on YouTube, and we're grateful for that. It touched our hearts and it has inspired us. So shout out to Dean. Thank you so much. And let us just say hello to this beautiful Kalyn. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I'll put it back to Rebecca. Go ahead.
Yes, this is another episode that I'm very excited about and feel honored to have Kalyn with us today. I've known Kalyn for a very long time. She was 11 and I was 23. I was her sixth grade teacher. It was my first class. Kalyn left an impression of being a vivacious, curious, and big-hearted little girl, and now she's a woman who is doing incredible things in her own field of teaching, which is inspiring to me. So here we are as adults. And Kalyn, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing about your just your way of expressing in the world with others.
Yep, I'm very proud. I think I feel like a little child again in front of my teacher, but I also feel like, just like you did in the classroom, you always showed us respect for our individuality, and so I'm honored to be here.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. It was truly a joy back then, and it's a joy to have this opportunity to reconnect, because we certainly haven't had the opportunity to connect a whole lot in the years in between then, since I moved to California and you stayed in North Dakota.
Yes.
So, yes, this was a very small town, Castleton, of hardly a couple thousand people, which included the farm families. And you have stayed there and have an amazing way of having a big impact in a small community. And I'd like you to share a little bit about how you do that.
So I didn't get to stay in Castleton, which at first that was kind of a bummer, thinking, oh, I can't be around my family who's there. But I didn't move too far away. I moved 40 miles west of Castleton to Valley City, North Dakota. And I actually have my sister who's a block away from me. So family is very important to me. And that's why I always had aspirations as a young girl to move away. I wanted to be you. I wanted to move to California. That was like, I wanted to be where the movie stars were. And I always thirst for that. But really my personality, it didn't match that. I mean, I love my family and I wanted to be close to them. And I have been blessed to be able to teach very close to my family. And as far as small, Valley City is small. It's kind of one of those towns that is shrinking. And it's unfortunate, but that's what a lot of North Dakota towns are kind of struggling with. Many are moving to the big cities. As a teacher, I see that shift in students. They thirst for experiences, so they naturally move away. But what I then see is they return. They want to come back to their values. They want to come back to the small town living. And so as a teacher, I do still get that farm, students, but a lot of it is more of the city kids. But ultimately kids just want to balance.
Can you share a little bit about the type of teaching and classroom that you have? Because it's very unique and amazing.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason I stay in education, because I have a unique situation for teaching. I teach students primarily between 16 and 21. They do have disabilities, but they don't all have to have disabilities. They may just identify that they need to have additional independent living skills or work skills. But that's not all my job. My other part of my job is I work with all students, don't have to have a disability, and we do career exploration and career work experiences. So when I talk, I may say all, I might blend it because they're all my students. It does not matter. I don't sit there and say, oh, you're students with disabilities, that. They're people first. And so my classroom is a blend. It has 2 kitchen units, and they're beautiful kitchen units, probably better than my house ones. And it is meant to teach them those independent living skills. And then most of my day, like, I get to go out and be in the community and observe students working and growing their work skills, but also their sense of being community members. It's a true joy. And I have an administration that supports me in a lot of my off the walls thinking. Like today, I took my class. We have what's called the community closet that I run. And it's an organization that we bring in donated clothing and we give it out for free. And so our students sort through that clothing. So it was great. I came to work today and I'm like, yep, we're going down to the community closet. And they just love it. They love they want to help people so badly that they are willing to do it. I get students that come to the class not feeling confident at all in themselves. They've been told that they can't do things. And I think about around this time is really the exciting time because they're starting to feel empowered. And we talk a lot about our disability rights, and I'm 18. I get to do this. So I do get some parent calls sometimes going, what are you guys talking about? They're saying that they get to do this. And I'm like, but they do. They're 18. I teach, well, I shouldn't say teach. Unique opportunities come to me all the time. One day we could be talking about, okay, you need to apply for Medicaid. Another time I could be talking about safe sex practices. And college never prepared me for that wide range of things that I deal with every day. And, but I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to help these individuals move on and become productive in their communities. So I know that was long-winded. Sorry.
Oh, no, perfect.
Yeah, I asked you because I wanted you to share.
It's hard because I don't have a traditional teaching role. I don't give tests. I don't give, we have assignments, but it's more of how do you perform this? Like, how do you make your meal? And so it's a lot by doing and showing, but how do you grade somebody whose self-esteem is increased 50%,
Yes.
And so I try to create a safe, nurturing environment that can allow that to happen so that when they do leave these doors, they feel more confident in their decisions.
Yes.
Kalyn, you're amazing. You're amazing.
It's just part of the job.
And she's humble too. And she's humble too. Listen, it sounds like you're in a tight-knit community that's brilliant and rare nowadays. And you bring this wonderful leadership and influence to your students. And it looks like anyone who's around you. So I am curious as to, has there been a person or thing that's had a great influence on you in your life?
I can definitely say I had some teachers that were amazing, but I have to give this one to my mom and dad. And I might tear up. My mom has been gone now for 17 years. And I will say that woman knew how to love people. Even though she was the gruffest personality, I'd come down in a new shirt and a mom would usually say, hey, you look so nice today. No, my mom would point out, well, that's a little short on you or something, right? But she projected love and she welcomed people. One of my favorite things that have always stuck with me with my mom is when the AIDS epidemic was at a peak when I was in high school. My mom said, oh, I'd invite him to my house and let him sit at our table and eat. Whereas my dad was opposite. My dad is very an opinionated man. He has gotten a lot softer in his older age. I remember from him, he would say, I don't know. I could never work with those people. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Those people? Well, the disabled, and I'm like, Dad, they're wonderful individuals. What does he do now in his retirement? He has helped in special education rooms. And even I finally get why you are so excited about what you do. It's amazing. So anyway, with my parents, they are the ones that really influenced me the most. They put family first, and I think that's what's carried over to me. And my dad has a strong community sense. Everybody knows my dad in my hometown. And so I think that was another thing that spurred me in my own community here to help and be present within the community. So, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you highlighting your folks, because I feel the same way about mine. And I know your parents in the 2 years that I worked in Castleton made an imprint on me. So I can certainly champion how you would highlight both of their influences in their own unique way.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing about that, because family is something that is a very rich blessing.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to dispute my brother and sisters, but because my sisters are two different unique beings. One is she was a second grade teacher, and she was the most organized, most creative, artsy teacher you could come across, a very prim and proper female. And my other sister is the athletic, gung-ho, crazy, just crazy. And I love it because I think I've been able to harness both of their personalities. And then my brother, he's just a very thoughtful and struggled with many struggles in his life, but has come out, stronger than ever. And I think that impacted me, is to show your past doesn't define you. You can make your own path. Nice. So yeah, family's huge in my life.
Well, with all of these different kinds of influences and observations, and I know that you are a very diverse individual as well. What was it that really got you into teaching? What steered that decision?
So when I graduated high school, I think you kind of were in that loophole of everybody's going to college. I got to go to college. My parents weren't pushing. They would never push education on us, but I think it was kind of an unwritten thing that was expected of us to, continue on and do better than them. And so I chose Valley City State University because my sisters had gone there, and also it was small enough, and uniquely, nobody in my high school class was going there. So I was like, wow, this will be my chance to be different and go. And I think that's always been something in my personality. I don't mind being different. I don't mind being out of the norm. So I came to Valley City State, and I was determined I was not going to be a teacher. I was determined. I said, no way. Why would I want to? I hated school as far as high school. Sorry. Sixth grade was great, but after sixth grade, it got a little rough. and so I was not going to be a teacher. And I started out, I was going to be into public health. I really love the health aspect of our bodies and whatnot. And so I started that route, and pretty soon I got some coaching opportunities. And I was like, okay, I'll do them, extra bucks or whatever. And I think just being around middle school, high school age was awesome. I just felt energized by being with them. I think I felt that I could be quirky, but also I could be a good teacher with them. And so I said, okay, fine, I'll give into this, but I am not teaching young kids. I am teaching older kids. And my dad kept saying to me, no, you were meant to be with younger kids. I'm like, no, Dad, I am not organized enough to be with elementary. Ironically, I can teach K through 12. And so my first teaching job was in this tiny town called Zeeland, North Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
And I had 56 kids, K through 12. I had them all.
Wow.
And I taught Phi-Ed and business and health. And I think that inspired, just really brought it to me that I could do this. I could teach and do a diverse group of things. And so then I came back to Valley City. Ironically, I met my husband, even though I was graduated from college. Yep, he got me back here to Valley City. And there was no jobs. There was no job openings. And so I was kind of feeling defeated. I had to go back. I had to go to the college and say, hey, I have to get classes, because at that time there was a No Child Left Behind Act that came out, and you had to teach within your field. And so I was like, oh, but I was defeated because they told me I had to go a whole other year of college. And I'm telling you, it took me 6 years to go through college for me the first time. And I'm like, you want me to come back? And so I'm like, no, I can't do that. That's a lot. So I took on a para job. And I was even more energized. It was like, this is where I have to be. And so from there, I went and got my master's in special education, and the rest's history. I'm staying in here.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. And bravo to the quirky teachers out there and the ones
Yep.
hearts that follow your heart. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for doing that. That is enormous.
I mean, I'll tell you, it's not the easiest job every day. And Rebecca, I think you can attest to this, that when May comes, or June for some other teachers, it's hard to say goodbye. Mm-hmm. But yet at the same time, it's so inspiring to see where they're at. And I got a cool job because I get a lot of graduates that come back, and I get to see them as mom and dads. I get to see them as successful in their jobs. It really is inspiring. And I know they're doing good when I don't hear from them anymore, because they don't need me anymore. And I think that's kind of inspiring. I'm getting to the point now, though, sometimes where it is hard for me to recognize them. So I can relate to the teacher that has a hard time when a kid comes back and, hey, hi. And I'm like, I can recognize their face, but their names are a little harder for me.
Well, that's the best, to go back to a teacher and see them. That means everything.
Yeah.
That means everything. So I have a fun question for you. And thank you for being such a wonderful influencer, not only because of your passion and your intellect, but because of your enormous heart. Thank you for that. We need a lot of teachers out there in the world that have that magic that you have. So thank you. So I
think it's hard, though. There's so many of us that are like that, but what gets highlighted in the news are the ones that should probably never have been teachers, or they're burnt out to the point they're making bad decisions. And that's unfortunate, because, I know in our world right now, there's a lot of highlights to teachers, and, they're teaching this, they're teaching that. I'm going to tell you, I don't have time for some of what they think I'm teaching. I barely get a bathroom break half the time. I can't imagine just teaching politics to these kids, right? No, I don't got time for that.
Good. So let me ask you something that's fun. If you had a magic wand and you could change anything in the world, what would you change?
Been thinking about this one a lot. I as I was getting ready this morning, I said, I know they're going to ask this question. I mean, of course, just like the genie in the bottle, I would take that magic wand and wish for a lot more wishes, but I know you said one. So I feel right now it would be social media. I know, like, this platform is wonderful. but there's so much with social media that just puts chain reactions into things that are bigger and worse and uglier than they have to be. And I really fear for young adults right now, because they have so much more to deal with than I did at that age. And I think as we continue on this path of social media and what is real, what is not real, I think we're going to just have a major mental health crisis on our hands. And I wish I could change that. I don't know how. That's a magic wand would do it, right? But
Yep.
I think I would really want to change that, because I feel like that's a lot of the problems that we're dealing with. This year, North Dakota implemented a no phone policy within the classrooms. Again, is it working? Is it not? It depends on the teacher. I mean, I'm consistent with it. I'm like, nope, we don't need our phones in here. But other teachers relax on it, or parents will be like, well, my kid needs it. It's an emergency, right? I will tell you, no phone means face-to-face conversations, like real. And maybe that's why I have my students want to talk to me more. They want to share their feelings more. I don't know, but I'm feeling blessed by that was carried out. And it has made a difference, but social media is a tough beast, and it affects all ages.
It is a tough beast, and it's very true that things in its very toxic, fast way become out of control. I know that we usually end with asking about a little bit of wisdom that you would leave with us. And I am also aware that a lot of wisdom resides on the walls of your classroom, and why you have that wisdom very like face to face with your students. I'm sure your home is probably the same way in your children's bedrooms, because I think that the consistency of the heart you have in the classroom is what you foster in your own home with your family and children. But if you could share a little bit about what is on your walls and why, I think that would be a beautiful way to bring this all together, Kalyn.
So funny that you say that, because my husband says every time I go to a craft show, don't buy anything with a saying, because all we do in our house is read. The walls aren't covered in my house.
That's great.
But my classroom has always been a reflection and multifaceted, because it is a reminder to students where they could what they could achieve in their futures, and also for me, to give me inspiration to keep going. So on my walls, I have a lot of famous people and their quotes, but the one that always comes out to students is by Robin Williams. And it's, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind always. And I think for my students, they are the ones that it just resonates with them, because they do all have their own struggles and self-image issues. And I think it's just a way to stop their brain for a moment and went, you know what? I'm not going to respond to that right now, because they might be fighting a battle that I don't know anything about. But I feel it's important to highlight just a lot of inspirational quotes, because sometimes people are dealing with things that we would never even know. And I think they just maybe even need to see the words or see the image and know that life's going to be okay. I know I needed that in dark times. I needed to know that I can come out the other side and be okay.
I like how you said, I know I can come out the other side and be okay. I had one primary quote in my classroom those 2 years. Makes me teary actually thinking about it. And it was the I can motto. Yeah. And I always did the best that I could to champion your and the rest of your classmates' ability to recognize that you can be empowered, even if we had to find a circuitous way around to find out what it was that you could do. And I can definitely see, Kalyn, that you have harnessed a seed like that and become just an incredible, beautiful human being that is sending wonderful ripples of love and compassion, empowerment to your family and your students. So thank you so much for being here today and sharing some of that guidance and wisdom and light with us.
Thank you. And for both of you, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, we need those flashlights in our lives to shine the light through a lot of this darkness that's out there. And even if it's not darkness to everybody, everybody's darkness is different shades, and we need flashlights like you too. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Kalyn. You
are absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So many good takeaways from today, Kalyn. Absolutely. Many blessings as you continue to just be you.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Well, thank you. We'll see you guys.
Take care. Thanks for being here.